Hi, my name is Maria Overton, and from the Systems Implementation Office, and I am going to present the revisions to Chapter 126 on lane elimination projects. The definition of lane elimination was expanded for clarification, and now it reads: the lane elimination projects, also known as road diets or lane reductions, are intended to reduce the number of travel lanes and effective width of the road to achieve systemic improvements. The purpose of this chapter is to provide guidance for lane elimination project submittal and review process. This includes the purpose, requirements, application and review process, which includes preliminary review and final review and approval, and also it lists the required forms that must be included in each one of these phases. On section 126.1, the general section of this chapter, please notice the new language regarding the lane elimination projects that have a PD&E phase. The requirements of this chapter must be followed during the PD&E study prior to the selection of the preferred alternative. Please refer to the PD&E manual for additional information, specifically Part 1, Chapter 2 of the PD&E manual. On section 126.2, the language was expanded to provide more guidance. Roadways with ADTs of 20,000 or less may be good candidates for a lane elimination or road diet project. According to studies by FHWA, lane elimination of one through lane per direction seems to have minimal effect on vehicle capacity because left-turning vehicles were moved into a common two-way left-turn lane. However, projects are evaluated for lane elimination feasibility on a case-by-case basis. These projects should be consistent with long-range transportation plans, transportation improvement programs, and transit development plans. The impact that a lane elimination project may have in different areas must be analyzed. The FDM lists examples of areas that can be affected by a lane elimination project. The impact analysis must not be limited to the examples listed in the FDM. And these are utilities, access management, businesses, traffic impact to parallel routes, etc. In addition, we must conduct public involvement activities in accordance with the Public Involvement Handbook. So who can submit a lane elimination project request? This can be found in section 126.1, and that would be a local government entity, such as a municipality, county, MPO, or TPO, or the department itself. In addition, it's important to understand that a private entity may also only submit a request through a local government entity. The application process is described in section 126.3. Additional clarification on this process was included as part of the revisions to this chapter. So step 1 is when the applicant contacts the district lane elimination coordinator. At this time, the applicant submits the lane elimination request to the district coordinator and completes and submits the initial meeting checklist. And in the next few slides, I will explain where these checklists can be found. On step 2, which is the preliminary review by the district, the lane elimination coordinator for the district schedules the initial meeting to discuss the proposed lane elimination project with the district review team. The applicant attends this initial meeting to discuss the process and requirements of the lane elimination request. The district lane elimination coordinator then submits the initial notification to central office, specifically to the Systems Implementation Office. And finally, in step 3, which is the final review and approval by central office. And this At this point, the district lane elimination coordinator submits the final review and approval notice to central office. The system implementation office coordinates the review of the lane elimination request with the different offices in central office level and obtains concurrence from the chief planner. The systems implementation office then submits the lane elimination request for obtaining the final approval or denial to the chief engineer. Then notification is sent to the district lane elimination coordinator of the chief engineer's decision. For clarification, the district review team includes the following offices at the district level: planning, environmental management, model development, design, and traffic operations. In section 126.3.3, which is the final review and approval, clarification was provided regarding the final review and approval. Whenever a lane elimination request is denied, the notification from the systems implementation office to the district will include an explanation of the denial. At this point, no resubmittal is required. Whenever a request receives an objection with comments, the applicant may resubmit the lane elimination proposal to the district once the comments have been addressed. This resubmittal must include an updated and signed Form 126B, which can be found in the Chapter 103 of the FDM. I would like to now show some of the revisions that have been made to the required forms, which again can be found in Chapter 103 of the FDM. And the purpose of these forms is to document and or support the lane elimination review process and the initial meeting. And there are 4 forms, 126A through D, and those are the initial meeting checklist, methodology checklist, lane elimination initial notice to central office, and the final approval notice to central office. So the changes to Form 126A, which is the initial meeting checklist, the main revision here is that the context classification is not required to be included for the request. And Form 126B, which is the methodology checklist, it was revised for clarification that these the methodology and requirements will be determined at the initial meeting with the district. So please refer to this list and coordinate with the district lane elimination coordinator. Then Form 126C, which is the initial notice to central office. This was revised to include the roadway ID, the context classification, and please notice how the project purpose, that field was deleted, and it's because we determined that the description should include what the purpose of the project is. In addition, under the signatures, the district planning and environmental administrator was added to the concurrence for this form. And this, again, is for the initial notice to central office. Then finally, Form 126D, which is the final review and approval notice to central office. Also, the roadway ID and context classification were added. And the same with as the previous form, the project purpose, we deleted that field since it should be included in the project description. And please notice how instead of approval at the district level, now concurrence is required by the district planning and environmental administrator, district design engineer, and the district traffic operations engineer. At the central office level, this form will receive concurrence by the chief planner and final approval by the chief engineer. So there are other resources currently available, the statewide lane elimination guidance, which can be found at the Systems Implementation Office website. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you.